Shalom, Israel. This is Dr. Ban Levi coming to you with another lesson. The topic for today's lesson is going to be in regards to the kingdom of heaven being established on earth. Okay? Now, we got a lot of so-called Israelites saying that the kingdom of heaven, that there's not going to be any sex, or we're not going to be able to enjoy anything in the kingdom. And I just wanted to make this video, to show and to prove that, that's totally false, and that the Lord, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, is going to establish a kingdom on earth. Okay. The first verse I really want to take a look at was Isaiah 11:16, and if we can go to that real quick, okay, and we can go ahead and break that down. Okay. And it says, let's start at verse 5. It says, and righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins. Matter of fact, let's see here. Let's go to verse 1. We might as well. Isaiah 11, verse 1. And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse. A branch shall grow out of his roots. And the spirit of Yahweh shall rest upon him. And the spirit of wisdom and understanding, the spirit of counsel and might, the spirit of knowledge and of the fear of Yahweh, and shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of Yahweh. And he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears. What do you think this is talking about? This is talking about Yahweh Shai. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked. And righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness the girdle of his reins. The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them. Okay, let's pause right there, verse 6, where it breaks off towards the end. It says, and a little child shall lead them. Okay, automatically that should give you, flip a switch in your brain that tells you, hey, look, if we're in heaven, then why is a child leading a wolf and a leopard, okay, and a young calf and its mother? Why would a young child be doing this, or where would a young child be doing this? Okay, and it says, and the cow and the bear shall feed; their young ones shall lie down together. So that means a cow and a bear, a vicious animal, and an animal, so-called vicious animal, and an animal that chews the cud is going to be laying down together. So an animal that chews meat and an animal that chews on grass, okay, the prey and the predator shall lie down together. And it says, and the sucking child shall play on the hole of an asp. Okay, children playing, okay, and the weaned child shall put his hand on the cockatrice. Okay, that's a dangerous ancient animal that existed in ancient times, a cockatrice den. And they shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of knowledge of the Lord, as the waters covers the sea. And it says, in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people, a sign of the people, to which shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. And it shall come to pass in that day. What day? The day when the Lord establishes his kingdom his kingdom of heaven on earth, that the Lord shall set his hand again a second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. Okay, and that's why he named all those nations: Assyria, Egypt, Pathros, Cush, Elam, Shinar, Hamath. We were dispersed, we were scattered until these nations. Okay, and it says, the envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Meaning our enemies are going to be cut off, and we will no longer have beef with our brothers. No longer, so-called Puerto Ricans having beef with so-called Cubans, and Haitians won't have beef with so-called, Dominicans, and, so on and so forth, okay? The Lord said that he's totally going to get rid of that. Okay, he says, the envy of Ephraim shall depart from the adversaries of Judah, and shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. But they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines towards the west. They shall spoil them of the east together. Meaning what? Taking their goods, right? They shall lay their hands upon Edom and Moab. I mean, we're gonna be laying our hands upon these Edomites and these Moabites, right? And the children of Ammon shall obey them. Okay? And the Lord shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea, and with his mighty wind shall he shake his hand over the river, and shall smite it with the 7 streams, and shall smite it in the 7 streams, and make men go over dry shod. And there shall be a highway for the remnant people. Remnant meaning what? The ones who were left. Okay? The small number of people which were left. Right? Which shall be left from Assyria, like as it was to Israel in the day that he came up out of the land of Egypt. So the Lord's going to do the same thing, the same way the children of Israel were able to get up out of that land of Egypt, right? By crossing that Red Sea. What did the Lord do? How did he deliver the children of Israel out of Egypt? Right? Moses had to spread his arms apart, right? Moses had to spread his arms apart to spread away the waters of that dry shod. I mean, of the water. I mean, of the sea. So the Lord was able to provide dry shod for the children of Israel to cross over from Egypt to the other side by separating the water. So he said he's going to do the same thing again. Okay? He's going to do the same thing again. So that way what? So that way the heathens can bring over, all right, all their riches, bring themselves over to who? The children of Israel, right? So there, once Esau's kingdom goes down, there's going to be an influx of people, right, coming to the kingdom of heaven, coming to where the children of Israel are, so that the children of Israel can possess them. Okay. All right. Another verse I have for you was Isaiah. Let's see here. We can. Okay, let's see. Let's go to Isaiah 49, 21 and 23. Isaiah 49. And 23. All right, and it starts by saying, "Then shalt thou say in thy heart." Well, let's go back a little further. It says, let's start at 17. It says, "Thy children shall make haste, thy destroyers, and they that make thee waste shall go forth of thee." Meaning what? Meaning what? That the heathen, the captivity, those who are captive, they went out before us. And he says, "Lift up thine eyes round about, and behold, all these gather themselves together and come to thee. As I live, saith Yahweh, thou shalt surely clothe thee with them all, as with an ornament, and bind them on thee as a bride doeth." Okay, but what is he talking about? He says, "Thou shalt surely clothe thee with them." Who's them? Okay, let's go back a little further. The them, okay, are the destroyers, okay, that made waste of us. Okay, he said he's going to what? He's going to clothe us with them as an ornament, and bind them on thee as a bride doeth. For thy waste and thy desolate places and the land of thy destruction shall even now be too narrow by reason of inhabitants, and they that swallowed thee up shall be far away. The children which thou shalt have, meaning the children which you are going to have after thou hast lost the other, so meaning if you've lost any children, the Lord is going to bless you with more children, shall say again in thine ears, "This place is too strait for me, give place to me that I may dwell." Then thou shalt say in thine heart, when hath begotten me these, seeing I have lost my children, and am desolate, a captive, and removing to and fro? And who hath brought up these? Behold, I was left alone. These, where had they been? Thus saith Yahweh, behold, I will lift up mine hand to the Gentiles, and set up my standard to the people. And they shall bring thy sons in their arms, and thy daughters shall be carried upon their shoulders. So right here, the Lord is showing us that he's going to be giving us the heathens as our bondwomen and bondmen, women and bondmen. All right, they're going to be put into captivity. They're going to be put in slavery, so that way they can serve the children of Israel. And kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and queens their nursing mothers, and they shall bow down to thee with their face towards the earth. So right there, that's telling you that the Lord is going to give us the inheritance of these people, of these other nations, and it's going to be here on earth, because it says, hey, they're going to bow down to the earth and lick off the dust off your feet. right? And thou shalt know that I am Yahweh, for they shall not be ashamed that wait for me. Okay? So right there is telling you that the kingdom of heaven, all right, once the Lord has given it to us for a possession, that it's going to be here on earth. Okay? And we are heirs of Yahweh Shai, according to Romans 8:6-17. All right, the Spirit bears witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. Okay? But let's see here. I mean, I do have a couple more verses, and we can continue. Daniel 2:43 and 45, 43 through 45. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at that verse, and let's see what we can make out of that one. Okay? Daniel 2:40, 45. Okay, and this is where, perfect, this is a good verse, and this is where the Lord is talking about, Nebuchadnezzar, and showing Nebuchadnezzar in a dream what would happen after his kingdom was to fall. Okay, in verse 43 it says, "And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay." Right. The children of the sons of God cannot mix with the sons of the heathen nations. Okay, we don't mix well with them. Righteousness cannot mix with unrighteousness. And in the days of these kings shall the power or the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. Now we know this hasn't happened yet because it says it shall never be destroyed. Okay, but where is this kingdom going to be set up? Right. And it says, "And the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. For as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, that it break in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great God hath made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter. And the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof sure." Okay? So the Lord is going to come and destroy these current nations, these current kingdoms that think that they're in rulership now. Okay? And he's going to dash them into pieces. And once they're dashed into pieces, the Lord is going to establish a new kingdom. And this kingdom, no one will be able to break down this kingdom. No man can take this kingdom down. Okay? And who's going to be ruling in this kingdom? Okay? Who's going to be ruling this kingdom? The children of the Lord. All right? The sons of God. Okay? All right, let's go to Philippians 3:20 so we can solidify that fact. It says, "For our conversation is in heaven." Our conversation, meaning our manner, the way we carry and conduct ourselves, is in heaven, from whence we look for the Savior, which is Yahweh Shai Mashiach, who shall change our vile body, that it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body, according to the working whereby he is able even to subdue all things unto himself. So we already know that we're going to be ruling with Yahweh Shai, and our bodies are going to be like his body. Okay? All right? So, I mean, that's pretty much it. So the kingdom of heaven will be established here on earth. Okay, and the Lord is going to give the heathen the heathen nations, Edom, Ammon, and Moab for our possession. Okay, and they're going to be, used for our nursing mothers and as your nursing fathers. Okay. So with that, I want to say all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rechachadash, and Abba Babal.